E3 2016 is happening. Kinda Funny's going all out with Let's Plays and reaction videos all week long. Subscribe now at youtube.com/kindafunnygames to not miss a thing.
What's up, everybody? I'm Greg Miller, and this is He Only Does Everything, Colin Moriarty.
Hello,
Colin,
Greg.
we are behind closed doors at the PlayStation booth at E3, and you just saw Days Gone. Does it live up to Eric Jensen's high bar of standard?
Eric Jensen, he's been working so goddamn hard over there in Oregon. It's really cool. It's I understand why people are a little skeptical about it.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a zombie game, another zombie game. You know, we have Dead Rising, we have The Last of Us, we have
State of Decay 2.
State of Decay 2. We have Dead Island. We have Dying Light. I mean, there's a bunch of them.
Sure.
But I get it. But like, there's a little bit of a different wrinkle in this game.
Tell me
I think it's gonna be cool. So first of all, the zombies aren't dead. They're freakers. They're alive.
Okay.
They eat. They drink. They sleep. They do all these kinds of things.
Okay.
They are infected by a virus that keeps them alive. So they have to eat, they have to drink, they have to sleep. And you're dealing basically with hordes of them in basically an ecosystem based on the high desert in Oregon. So a lot of, Crater Lake might be in there, they wouldn't say, etc. But that kind of area.
Okay.
And you're part of a biker gang, and it's an open world.
We call them motorcycle clubs.
I'm sorry, motorcycle clubs, MCs.
Yeah.
And it's a nice idea. It's ominous. It's supposed to be. I was talking to John Garvin was doing some Q&A. Who's the writer? He's the lead of Bench Studio.
Yeah.
Been writing. He wrote all their games the last 20 years, from Siphon Filter all the way through now. And he was basically saying like the idea is it's somber, it's serious. Like there's no humor here. This is a world that's dying and dead and dangerous. So there's no light, there's no humor. These people are really trying to stay alive, and the freakers, these alive zombie-like creatures, are not the only danger. Obviously, the humans.
Sure. Man's inhumanity to man.
So similar to The Last of Us in that respect.
Yeah.
You're saying basically there's a 50-50 chance that you're going to be fucked up by a human, or maybe they want to be your friend.
Okay.
But I tried to get more into the story in terms of the nature of like these freakers. How do they get sick? What's the nature of the virus? If you get bitten or scratched, do you get sick? Like they would not talk about any of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
The other thing before we get into the nature of the game is, and this was a little bit disappointing to me, if I'm interpreting it the right way, is I was like, I asked them like, you guys have not released a game since 2012 in the States, which is Golden Abyss. And I know that, we know that they had some false starts, apparently maybe some PS3 games or a Vita game, a sequel to Golden Abyss, whatever, that didn't get off the ground. So they're not far along, or as far along as I think a lot of people think they
really?
are. And when I asked, is it safe to assume this is a 2017 game, they said it is not safe to assume that. So either it's in the fall, which I doubt, or we're going to be waiting for a while, which would give them 7 full years in between releasing games.
Wow.
So that was a little bit disappointing because I'm really, as they were John Garvin and those guys were busting my balls afterwards because they know we talk about them so much.
Yeah. Make a game.
Yeah, make a goddamn game. No, they're making their game. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be ready for prime time.
Okay. But so what did you see? Did you like what you saw? Because when I saw the presser and I saw the Sony conference, I thought it looked great.
Yeah.
Not just because friend of the show Sam Witwer's in it.
So they showed a very similar. It's the same thing. Starts with the bike outside this like sawmill, this factory.
Yeah.
It's just he went through it in a different way.
Gotcha.
And it was cool. He used like improvised explosives and he just went through some different paths, kind of luring them in using Molotovs. Very similar kind of attacks that you saw with the submachine gun and all these kinds of things. The interesting thing that he was talking about was we see the camp at dusk. So the freakers hibernate during the day. They won't come out during the day.
Okay.
And he was saying that if you get there during the day, you have to do this particular quest. You can actually totally set traps and improvise explosives and all sorts of stuff, and then run the freakers like through these areas that you've already lined. In other words, you can like wait at night and stay safe and be patient, and then get in there during the day, and then get out of there before dusk, and let them come out, then run through, and they'll chase you.
So did they talk about what the setup is? Like the rumor had always been that it was going to be this open world zombie motorcycle. Is that what it is?
It is. It is an open world. He said that it's expansive enough to take advantage of the motorcycle. Because I asked him, I'm like, what's the nature of the open world? Can you compare it? And he's like, well, we designed this game with the motorcycle in mind. So you're going to be traveling around a lot. The interesting thing that he said was that no urban environments. This really is based in like central and eastern Oregon. There's not a lot going on over there. So you might get some alcoves and villages or something like that.
Sure.
No
big
like
city.
No big cities. Not like not like Portland or anything like that. So. There is that. They talked a little bit about the quest structure, not too much. I mean, in terms of like you are going to be questing, there are going to be side quests. There is a main story. Someone in there asked about, can you play it passively and not fight? And that is possible.
Oh wow!
Although with the particular quest they were showing, it is not possible because your quest there is to destroy the horde in that area. And I don't know quite why this wasn't in the build, but they were saying that in the game, when you're fighting a horde, there is a number in the corner of the screen indicating how big the horde is.
Oh, okay.
So like you see yourself whittling them down, and,
Okay.
and they're sponges. Like they're not sponges; they take damage and fall, but it's because they're alive.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense because in the demo that was the thing where he was spraying and praying and people were dropping. And I
Right.
thought that was interesting.
And the other thing, I noted kind of making fun of it a little bit during PS I Love You. I think we're saying like, how many bullets does this fucking machine gun have? Like,
Yeah.
And he was saying they didn't want to talk about the upgrade trees and all that kind of stuff, but there is an upgrade system, and he was saying like you can read into the fact that he has 800 bullets for a machine gun that that's not what you start with.
Okay.
We also saw him crafting, and basically a bar appears on the right side of the screen.
Oh, so more than just the silencer thing?
Yeah, so
Okay.
you still saw him put the silencer, which was the oil pump from the truck, into the gun, but we saw him actually make a Molotov with things he was finding in the environment as well.
Okay.
Another interesting wrinkle, and what's really strange about this being a first-party game is that it's not using a proprietary engine. It's using Unreal 4.
Oh.
This is unusual for a first-party Sony game to not be using their own stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, they use middleware and all that kind of stuff, but I thought that was interesting that they basically shopped around and apparently found this particular engine. It makes
Awesome.
the most sense for their game. So it's being written internally by John Garvin. Doesn't look like it's coming out until 2018, unless you can read into that that they're just playing around. Or
They're trying for 27. I mean, it's
that's
not
probably-
safe to assume, but it's possible.
Right, and I think it looks really cool. I understand people's skepticism, but I think this is Ben's coming out party. I think they have a lot to prove, and I think they know that.
Yeah.
So I think they should take their time. It's just surprising that we're maybe going to wait way longer than I thought to get their game.
Yeah, because you were thinking it might even be this year.
Yeah,
that was going to be
because
the
they've been
reveal.
quiet for so long, and you and I have heard rumblings for a long time that they had games that didn't get off the ground. So
Yeah.
it's not like they were just not doing anything after
Sure.
Golden Abyss. It's just that those games, they might have dumped a year or two into those games and then had to come up with this idea for Days Gone. And I guess this also indicates why Dead Don't Ride doesn't make any sense as a name, which was at one point the name
They're
of
not
the game.
dead.
They're not dead at
They're
all.
not dead. I get it.
So that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think of Days Gone? Let us know in the comments, share this video with your friends, and of course, keep coming back here to youtube.com/kindoffunnygames for all of our mini wares, but of course, all our videos here from E3 2016. Until next time, I love Colin Moriarty.
Thank you. I wish I could say the same.
God fucking damn it.